Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a good day. We are finally replacing the stock exhaust system on the Interceptor. Hitchcocks have been kind enough to send me out a full stainless steel system for the bike. It's the Enfield Precision system with the shorty tailpipes. I'm super excited about this mod. I know it's one that a lot of you guys have been asking for. In this video, I will be removing the stock exhaust off the Interceptor. I'll show you exactly how to do that step by step. Once it is off, I'm going to compare the weight of that with the new system just to see what the difference is. We're going to install the new one onto the bike. Once it is on, I'm going to go for a test ride and obviously do some sound checks. Fingers crossed at the end of this video, I'll be able to hear and feel the difference of this Enfield Precision exhaust system. I cannot wait. Let's get the old one off the bike. Okay, so here are the tools that I'll be using today. Now, I'm not going to name every single one individually right now, but when I'm working on the bike with that specific tool, I'll tell you what it is at the time. Before I attempt to remove any nut or bolt on the bike, I apply GT85 to them. Using a 10mm socket, remove this bolt for the exhaust joint cover. To remove the cover, slide it towards the front of the motorcycle. To loosen the exhaust clamp, I used a 12mm ratchet spanner, a 12mm socket and a ratchet. Using the same tools, but this time with an extension, remove the nut and bolt for the rear silencer mounting bracket. With the nut and bolt removed, it's now time to get rid of that massive rear silencer. Give it a wiggle and it should just slide off. Now these 650 twins, they have oxygen sensors in the front pipes. There's two in total, one on the left hand side and one on the right hand side. We need to swap the sensor from this pipe to the new pipe. Now I've disconnected mine. It's literally a multi-plug, two cable ties. To gain access to this multi-plug to make it a little bit easier, I also removed the horn. It's really straightforward, it took me about 5 minutes. Now what I've seen a lot of people do online when they're replacing these pipes, they're not disconnecting that wire. If you don't disconnect it, you run the chance then of damaging the wires to the sensor. Now these sensors are like £100 each, including the VAT. So if you did end up damaging one of them, it would be quite a costly mistake to make. Like I say, it takes literally 5 minutes, so don't run the risk of that. Get them unplugged and get them out of the way. Using a 12mm deep socket, a ratchet and an extension, it's time to remove the nuts on the front pipe. Now I'm leaving the top nut on finger tight by a couple of threads. I'll show you why in just a second. Remove the 12mm lower mounting bolt. With the lower bolt removed, I can now get rid of that top nut. I just left it on so the exhaust didn't hit the deck. Carefully remove the copper crush gasket from the cylinder head. I'm using a hooked pick. Boom, it's out. Let's get the new system on. Jack, stop drooling over this exhaust. Get it on the bike. Hitchcocks have supplied me with some new rubber mounts for the exhaust. Apparently the old ones are a nightmare to remove. I'll link them up in the description along with the exhaust system. Retain these metal inserts from the old exhaust. There's one on the front and one on the back. It's now time to fit the new rubber mounts to the new front pipe. I like to use brake cleaner on a job like this. It's a great lubricant, and when it's dry, it completely evaporates. Using a 17mm spanner, remove the oxygen sensor from the old front pipe. I've added a very small amount of copper grease onto the thread of the sensor. If I ever have a fault with this sensor and I need to remove it, this grease, in theory, will prevent it from ever seizing into the pipe. Just nip it up in the new pipe, don't go mental. With the new copper crush washer, add a very small amount of grease onto the smooth edge, not the edge with the joint on. Insert it into the cylinder head. The grease we've just added will prevent it from falling out. I also added a small amount of copper grease onto the studs in the cylinder head. It's entirely up to you whether you do this or not. With the boring bits done, we can now fit the front pipe. Take your time offering the pipe up. Make sure you don't dislodge that copper crush washer we've just fitted into the cylinder head. Fit the nuts to the studs, but leave them finger tight for now. I added some Loctite to the lower mounting bolt before I fitted it. I'm also leaving this finger tight. Equally tighten up the two nuts on the down pipe. So tighten up a little bit of the top, go to the bottom, tighten that one up, and just keep doing that until it's flush. With your ratchet, you can now tighten up these nuts. Don't quote me on this, but I think the workshop manual says something like 25 Newton meters for these. Do not over tighten them. You will end up snapping the studs and you'll be in a world of pain. The lower mounting bolt can be tightened up too. Remove the bracket off the stock silencer. The bolts are 12mm. Loosely fit the bracket to the new silencer in this orientation with the bolts provided. Yet again, I'm adding some good old copper grease. This time it's going to the joint on the front pipe. I don't ever want the silencer and the front pipe to bond themselves together, hence why I'm adding the grease. And no, I'm not sponsored by copper grease. Slide that new gorgeous silencer on. Fit the nut and bolt for the mounting bracket and tighten it up. Tighten the clamp. Finally, tighten up the two bolts for the silencer and connect the oxygen sensor. I've just got one side finished and it looks absolutely insane. Let me show you. I need to refit the horn and give the exhaust a wipe down. It's got all my grubby fingerprints all over it still. But how much tidier does that look? And on this pipe here, there's no cap there now, which looks a lot cleaner. So the Enfield Shorty, it comes about in line with the rim of the back wheel, whereas the standard silencer, I think it went past the tyre. It looks better to me. It's in more proportion to the bike. The stock exhaust is just too big. Now if you look from above, look at that size difference. But I understand why the standard silencer is this big. Let me show you on the bench. Just look at that size difference. The stock silencer is heavy too. I didn't actually realise how heavy they are. I'm going to weigh them for you. But let me just show you this I was just talking about then. I'm hoping the camera's picking this up. Can you see the honeycomb inside the stock silencer? Yep, that is a catalytic converter. And now I honestly didn't realise that there was cats inside the silencers. So now I know why they are so big and heavy. This is something that I was aware of. These are the standard front pipes. They are twin walled, so inside there is a narrower pipe. It's actually quite restrictive, and obviously you've got the catalytic converter on the front. And on top of that, compared to the stainless steel pipes, they are really heavy. I'm gonna get the left-hand side of the exhaust fitted now. It looks exactly the same as the right-hand side, so I'm not gonna bother recording it. I don't think you wanna see that process all over again. Whilst I crack on with this, here's some information about Hitchcocks. Right, so imagine this. Hitchcocks Motorcycles is like the ultimate treasure trove for Royal Enfield enthusiasts. They've been in the game since 1984, offering everything you could ever need for your Enfield, from standard parts to those exciting performance upgrades that make your bike feel like a whole new machine. They've got the biggest selection of spares and accessories in the world for Royal Enfield, covering everything from the 1939 models right up to the latest ones. Whether you're a retail customer or a business, they supply parts for all kinds of needs. And they're constantly developing new bits and bobs to make sure both classic and modern Enfields stay on the top of their game. It's basically a one-stop shop for anything and everything Royal Enfield. It's an honour to have one of the biggest names in the Royal Enfield game supporting the channel in this video. Thank you, Hitchcocks. I'll put a link to their website in the description of this video. The amount of parts and accessories they've got for the Interceptor is literally mind-blowing. Go and check it out. Speaking of Interceptors, the new exhaust is on. Let me know what you think. I think it looks absolutely incredible. It didn't take long to fit and the quality is superb. I'll talk more about the quality in the next video. Yes, the next video. When I did the intro for this video, I didn't realise how much content I'd recorded on this exhaust system, so I've split it into two parts. In part 2, I'll share how much weight I've saved by fitting this exhaust system. We'll do some sound checks. Spoiler alert, it sounds immense. I'll take the bike on the road and I'll let you know how it's performing with the new system fitted. And I'll share with you 5 benefits of this stainless steel exhaust system over the stock one. As always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my video. If you have any questions on this exhaust system, hit me up in the comments section. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in part 2. Hitchcocks have been kind enough to send me out their stainless steel Enfield Precision. So fingers crossed, at the end of this video, we will be able to